Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D. I'm your host, Reginald D. On today's episode, I have Robert Cardillo, a.k.a. B-Cide. B-Cide is a rapper, producer, clothing designer, and author of Myelin, My Shoes, a memoir about life, music, and resilience after being diagnosed with MS. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thanks for having me, Reginald. How you doing today?
Doing great, sir. Doing great.
Great.
So, Robert, can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what your childhood was like?
Sure. Well, I grew up in a little city called Utica in New York. Everybody thinks that when you say New York, you kind of live in the city, but that's really not the case. New York's a pretty big state, and I happen to live right in the middle of New York. It's called Central New York, and that's where I live. And I was born in January by my two parents, and I have a brother and his name's Nick. My parents unfortunately got divorced when we were younger, so that kind of takes a toll on you when you're a kid. But my parents are, talking and things like that. They never let us go like neglected or anything along those lines. They were really good with us. And yeah, but my mom, she's my rock. So she is definitely she's definitely the one that is always the constant in my life and keeps me grounded.
Yeah, man, it's something about the moms and them boys.
Yeah,
It is. So, Robert, can you tell us who is B-Side behind the mic and the beats and the brand?
sure. Well, behind the microphone, B-Side is a real big turned up version of myself. That's really what I do. I kind of like use it like how a wrestler would use their gimmick, as their character. So that is kind of how I portray B-Side. And the genre of music that I'm in is underground hip hop. So it's not really like mainstream kind of stuff. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Insane Clown Posse before. So I'm in the genre that they do. It's called horrorcore. And we rap about everything from like love to murder. And it's just a release of everything. And it's not overproduced and it's not made by, people in high places that get on the radio or anything like that. So we're just real underground and they don't play us on the radio. And we've kind of built the fans from the ground up.
Okay, but doing it organic, man. That's what you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
That's what
Yep.
you're supposed to
Yep.
do it. So you've been grinding in the underground music scene for over 25 years.
Yeah.
What originally drew you to hip hop and what kept you in the game so long? That's the thing, because a lot of people don't, staying up 25 years on something like this.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was really big. And what's funny is my first musical experience of my life was Green Day and the punk rock. And they got me interested in doing music in general. So Green Day made me want to be like a performer, but I could never learn how to play guitar or anything like that. And I started getting into rap music and I started listening to like Master P and the Insane Clown Posse and Tech Nine and kind of took what Master P and the Insane Clown Posse and Tech Nine were doing, kind of took that all in like a pot, mixed it up, and did it like my own way. And it was just an amalgamation of all this stuff put together. Even Green Day put in there because that's how I learned how to really write songs. So that is really like the whole thing that I've put together. And the thing that kind of keeps me going is the people that I've actually touched over the years. And that's really what keeps me going with it. And the fact that I have MS and it's like a big release for me to be able to make music, and it's like better than therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because here's the thing, man. I think when you are walking in your purpose and you are touching people when you're doing it, it takes everything kind of away. Like say it becomes the forefront
Right,
of a thing because that's when it becomes, precious to you and things like that. So
right.
let's talk about this. In 2011, life hit you hard and you were diagnosed with MS. Take us back to that moment. What were you thinking and feeling when everything changed?
What had happened is I went from being somebody who was able to be on the road and doing shows and performing, and then I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and it was a diagnosis from like a general neurologist here in Utica, and we're not really known for our doctors, unfortunately. So this doctor tells me, he's like, "Oh, take this shot, you'll be fine." Never really explains to me what MS is or anything of that nature. And I start taking this shot, and I'm noticing it's really not keeping me stable. These things are supposed to keep you stable. And I was kind of getting worse, so my father kind of interjected, and he is friends with these people, Constantinos, and they have a wing of a hospital in Rochester, New York, named after their family. And it just so happens that this hospital in Rochester has this world renowned MS center. So my father ends up getting me hooked up with these people, and I would say a couple years after I had gotten diagnosed, so maybe 2012 or 2013, I end up getting hooked up in Rochester with these people, and they get me on the right medication and everything. They actually do the proper tests that need to be done. They conducted an MRI, and in Utica, the one from here looks like a 1950s television, and the one in Rochester looks like a full HD 4K, great picture and everything. It's just unbelievable to see the difference when you move to different places of how the medicine is. It almost shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately it is. And I got diagnosed, so I had just been carrying on, and I was with my fiance at the time of 10 years, and all in all, she ended up breaking up with me over the MS and the fact that we really were just butting heads at that point in time. And then I ended up having to move in with my mom. I was getting bad, and my mom started telling me I need to start thinking more positively, and I started thinking more positively, maybe getting a little bit more prayer in there, getting a little bit more right with God, and, just trying to look at life for, the blessing that it is.
Yeah, because the thing about it, when you get diagnosed with something like that, you really see how real the people are in your life, that's with you. That some people can't do the challenges, at
Right.
the end of the day. They can't. But one thing I always say is that your condition is not your conclusion at the end of the day. So, what was the hardest mental or emotional battle you had to fight after your diagnosis? And how did MS change the trajectory of your life and music career?
Well, I'd say the hardest thing about the MS is going from being able to perform in front of people to not having to do that anymore. And that was like a real big killer for me. It was very depressing. And I was just, after my fiance had broken up with me and I was living with my mom, I kind of got worse. And then I ended up in a wheelchair full time, and my legs just start locking up and not working the way that they should. And that's like what the MS has done for some reason. We don't know why. And that's just like how I have to deal with it. That's what it's given to me. So with the music, what it did is totally stop me in my tracks. What I had planned was in 2011, I had this album that I was going to come out with, and I was going to go on the road with it and do these tour dates and sell it. And I was this close to being where I needed to be with everything. And it just totally knocked me down, and I kind of let it stop me for a good few years there. And then I started just making music, and it makes me feel like I'm like an unstoppable force when I make music. And I, like B-Side doesn't have MS the way I have MS. It's just the way that it is. See, it's a character. It's not going to show the same kind of pain that I'm going to show, but they do merge into each other as well. So that's also a thing. So I think they merge pretty well now at the point where I'm talking about MS. I've literally just gotten done recording like 27 demos of songs just about multiple sclerosis that's going to come out in, let's see, it's going to come out next year, and it's going to come out in March on Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. So that's what I've been kind of doing with the music to kind of keep me going and keep me on like a certain path. I want to be a voice for the voiceless of people with disabilities and, you know, uh, multiple sclerosis, and kind of bring awareness to it. I'm not cursing in the stuff or anything. I'm being a really good boy with it.
Yeah, but one thing about it, I think, what happens when things like that happen, because just for me, period, music is healing, period. I
Hmm.
love music. I love all types of music. When I get to my quiet place, it's music. It's not TV. It's not none of that. It's just music. It's whatever I feel that day, I play, and I
Right.
think music brings healing. So tell us about your streetwear brand 55 Strong. What does that mean and how does it reflect your journey?
Well, 55 Strong came from an Insane Clown Posse lyric. And the lyric actually goes, "Now I'm in a street gang, 55 strong. Everybody's singing that Southwest song." And I pulled that out of the lyric just to mean like strength and determination. And I use 55 Strong now, not just as like a clothing brand that I've made designs out of. Like this is one of the designs with an Insane Clown Posse like album cover and stuff inspired by it. So like we make stuff inspired by like ICP, and also like original designs like cool clown designs and just like graffiti kind of logos, and just on brand like streetwear kind of stuff. And it's just a way that I felt that it would be a way to show strength and just be able to have something that people could attach on to and show that you could be 55 strong, and it just shows strength, and unity.
Yeah, Robert, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm really, really inspired about your determination, you know.
Thank you.
And how do you stay inspired and being creative when your physical body doesn't always cooperate with you?
Well, thank God I don't have MS where it's affecting my brain or my eyesight or my speech, because my mind is constantly working. As long as I can talk and move my hands enough to type on a cell phone and write lyrics or write something that has to do with like a book or something along those lines, then I'm good. It helps me stay pain free whenever I'm creating something, I'm absolutely pain free. It's so weird.
It's matter over matter. That's what they
Yep.
say. That's
Yep.
what they say. Man, I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
your memoir, Myelin, My Shoes, is raw and unfiltered. So why was it important for you to write this book?
Well, what happened is I wanted to show my journey of almost making it in the underground music business, but then getting cut short by a disease that's not really talked about that much. And what I've done is I talk about like my life before everything and then my life after everything. But I also talk about like how my friends dealt with the diagnosis and things of that nature. I talk about the loves of my life and stuff like that too. But I really wanted to do it to show people that I have this strength and determination to actually do this stuff and actually come out with this stuff and just be able to bring it out to people and show them that disabled people can do things and we're just like everybody else.
And I'll tell you what, you're purpose driven, man. You're very
Thank you.
purpose driven. I love it.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
So what do you hope readers take away from your journey, especially those dealing with invisible illnesses, chronic battles, or disability?
Well, I want them to take away you don't have to let your situation dictate the way your life's going to go. You can take your situation and think more positively and be a champion at what you want to do. You can just start thinking about things and make things happen and just make your life a better thing than it was. Just keep on pushing through things. Don't let people bring you down. You need to start looking at the positive side of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to my next question about success. You know, people look at success all kind of ways, but I think it depends on the situation that you can determine your success. People say success is money, success is these things and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's based on the situation. So how has your idea of success changed over the years from the early days of rap to the man you are today?
Really, when I first was getting started, all I wanted to do was be famous and have money and things that, you see all these rappers have. And it's funny because now I look at it and I'm not rich and I'm not famous, but the amount of fans that I do have make me feel famous and I'm rich in spirit and I'm rich in my soul. So I don't necessarily have to be monetarily rich. So I look at life a little bit more peaceful now, you know, but I still grind hard.
Yeah, the thing about it, you still look at all the fans and all the people who's with you. That's success right there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's success. So, Rob, what advice would you give someone who feels like life completely knocked them off their path? What kind of advice would you give them?
Don't let life get you down. You can fall down, but you're going to get up more times than you fall down. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. And sometimes, too, you just need a friend to talk to. You need a real good friend to talk to and bounce ideas off of. And maybe they'll tell you something you don't want to hear, but sometimes they have great ideas and they can help you get where you need to be.
Yeah, because one thing, as I'm talking to you, one thing that stands out to me is strength. You know, so what does strength look like to you today, and how can others tap into their own version of it?
Strength is just pushing through no matter what. It is It is just not letting people dictate to you what they think you are, what you are. You are what you say you are. And it's just dig down deep and find that strength and determination to just get what you need.
Yeah, because I always tell people that you got to be what you want to become. At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do the work to be what you want to become, and that's what it's all about. Like you said, it doesn't matter. You know, the situation in life. Life is going to keep lifing, right? That's what we call it. It's going to keep
Yep.
lifing. Things going to happen, but you
Yep.
got to keep going towards your goals and your dreams and your desires and things like that you want for your life.
Yep.
So, what's next for B-Cide, professionally and personally?
Well, I'll tell you right now, hold on. Let me tell you right before that, the reason I called the book Myelin My Shoes. Myelin, Myelin, is the stuff, it's the coating around your nerves. And that's what multiple sclerosis attacks. So that's why I called it Myelin My Shoes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I
And
got it.
yeah. I just wanted to put that out there. So what's next is I had already said I'm working on this album. I'm working on this album about multiple sclerosis. It's never been done before, to my knowledge. I'm working with a longtime friend and producer of mine, Ken Williamson. He goes by K-Dub. And we've just been working on music, kind of like a band's been doing it. He's been making beats and stuff. I've been writing tracks to it, and we've just been putting things together, and it's just been a great team, and we've really been doing things great. And the other thing that I've been doing is me and my father have actually gotten together, and there's a business that he has called the Cardinal Center, and we are turning this business into a business that's going to be able to help businesses utilize politics to help them save money. Because my dad's actually been in the political arena and in Washington and stuff for like the past 50 years. So he had like a consulting business, and then we're going to turn it into something all new age. I started studying this guy named Russell Brunson through this website named ClickFunnels, and I'm going all in with my father on this thing, and that is really what's next.
Man, that sounds exciting.
Yeah,
And man, I'm telling you, I know y'all gonna get it done too.
I hope so,
Oh,
man.
you're gonna get it done. With the drive you got, oh yeah, you're gonna get it done. So lastly, Robert, how can people support you, connect with your music, and grab a copy of Myelin book?
Sure, they can just go on my official website, b-cide.com, and they can find everything about me right there. You can get the book on there. You can find out where to listen to my music and stream it. You can find out more about me, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's it, man. Man, I'm so excited, man. I'm telling you, man, you are an inspiration.
Well, thank you.
Inspiration. Yeah. And all you got to do is keep pushing, man. The net's going to be the nets, and the net's going to be the nets, and the net's going to be the nets. You're going to be tired one day.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're going to be good. You're going to be good because your determination is what's going to take you.
Thank you.
That's what's going to take you. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody,
so
Robert Cardillo, a.k.a. B-Cide. Man, thank you so much for spending the time with us. And I'm telling you, man, you're truly a blessing, and you truly are a person that people need to hear from and can get their strength from, through disabilities and things like that,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk Reginald D. If you enjoyed listening to Real Talk Reginald D, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.